This thing is 7, 8 feet tall, makes horrendous sounds.
Worldwide, people report seeing a strange creature.
It was breaking branches off trees and eating the sap. Its strength was amazing.
From China and Siberia to India and North America.
If I would have known what was going to happen, I wouldn't have come in here.
I just thought this could very possibly be a Bigfoot.
Many believe it's a myth or a hoax.
And he brought a pair of these.
It is a hoax phenomenon, yes. It's also a misperception phenomenon.
But for those who have encountered this creature, there is no doubt.
There's something out there for sure
That exists.
Stories of Sasquatch or Bigfoot, the Himalayan Yeti, the Chinese Yeren, and others have long been told on nearly every continent.
There's a great deal of consistency in Sasquatch reports, most of which appear to be adult males. The large, hair-covered, broad-shouldered, massive-chested animal with a short, thick neck, often described as no neck, long arms reaching below the knee, a face with a flattened nose, deep-set eyes, often brow ridges, sometimes a conical head. Pretty consistent.
Which is exactly the case with a group of Idaho high school students.
Look at each other. I noticed that it was walking fairly easily. At first, we just saw the punch through one. It looked like instead of a foot.
It was February. It was pretty cold. It was an overcast day. It had just gotten done snowing. A lot of the leaves on the trees were gone.
We were gathering data for our environmental science class. We had been up here 2 times before to test the amount of erosion that occurs within the canyon.
Right here, right?
Yeah. When we first saw it, it was probably over here more. Then we got it about when it walked through that clearing on the camera.
It was close to the top of that ridge, just walking down, and it looked fairly big and dark, black.
It really stood out in the snow.
I wouldn't say you could make any hair out, though. I'd say more just a dark bulge.
Yeah.
You could really make it out in the snow, though. And I mean, it was moving pretty well through what was a lot of snow, so.
Like 10 seconds later, I decided to pull out the camera. At that time, it was coming into that clearing. I zoomed in on it, and then it walked behind there, I think, and then just down over the top of that ridge.
When I first saw it, I was like, that's not a person. I was kind of confused. I was like, I don't really know what it was. I've never seen anything like this.
I thought we should go check it out just to hopefully figure out what it was we saw.
To get up the mountain was really tough. It took us close to an hour, I'd say.
We found the line of tracks that came down the ridge this way.
We saw a lot of snow punches showing that something had definitely walked there recently. There was one particular footprint that stuck out, and you could see some, it looked like toe marks defined in the footprint.
I'm in outdoors a lot. I know what a moose track looks like. I know bear tracks. I can tell fresh tracks versus old tracks. I haven't really seen anything like that before.
It was a little like, whoa, that's weird, you know? I don't really know what that is.
Like, it was bigger than a human footprint, but it looked a lot like a human footprint.
When I looked at the track and realized it wasn't anything I had seen before, I just thought, you know, this could very possibly be a Bigfoot.
They contact Idaho State University professor of anatomy and anthropology, Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum.
As a student of both human and comparative primate anatomy, I can offer some expertise in evaluating the likelihood of the image on a piece of film or video being simply a man in a fur suit or something else, something yet to be accounted for.
Since 1995, Meldrum has been analyzing data from incidents like the Pocatello sighting.
I have to admit my first reaction was, here's some high schoolers that are bored, and here's a fun way to spend the weekend. But what at first glance might have been taken to be just a practical joke started to weave a very interesting story that indicated maybe they did see something that warranted further investigation.
Meldrum, who has amassed more than 200 casts and photos of footprints from reported Sasquatch sightings, examines the photo evidence that the teens captured.
This footprint differs from a human footprint most decidedly by the lack of an arch and in the lack of a well-differentiated ball of the foot. This footprint displays many of the characteristics that I would look for in a typical Sasquatch track. The broad heel, the relatively long heel to length ratio, the toes disposed across the foot in a more squared-off fashion, and less differentiation in the size of the big toe relative to the remaining toes. All those features would combine to suggest that this may very well be the real deal.